Hi there, I'm Drew Badger, the world's #1 English fluency guide, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to another advanced listening practice lesson. Well, I sent an email to my newsletter subscribers who, they were actually really excited. They thought this was a really interesting email, so I thought I would share it with everyone here. Again, if you'd like to become a subscriber, just click on the link in the description below this video to do that. Subscribers get lots of free lessons from me and a lot of tips that I don't share here on YouTube. So if that's the way you'd like to learn and you want to learn even more with me, you can click on the link in the description to do that. Well, the lesson that was such an important thing, such an interesting lesson that I wanted to share with people, this was a story about confidence. And it was a story about how to think about confidence in a different way. And I thought it was such an important thing, again, that I wanted you to hear that information too. Well, this was a story. It was maybe a few years ago. So I was living in a different part of Japan, Kyoto, Japan at that time. And I was out traveling. It was like my wife and I, and there was another couple. And we went to the mall together, and we were just, looking at stuff, just spending a day together at the mall, just doing something, not in anything in particular. We just had some time to kill. So this is a great phrase where you don't really have anything in particular to do, so you're kind of wasting time. This is to have time to kill, time to kill. Anyway, so we were in the mall, but when we got there, we had to park, and this parking lot was kind of tricky. It was a really old parking lot, and it was almost like a maze. So you didn't really know where your car was. Things weren't clearly labeled, and the levels weren't exactly lined up properly. It was a really weird parking lot. And so all of us, we got out of the car and walked into the mall, but none of us remembered where the car was. So when we had to go back to the car, we had to walk, and we were looking and trying to figure out where the car was, but nobody knew exactly where it was. So before we were going to leave the mall and go back into the parking lot, we were standing in front of the door to the parking lot. There's like a couple of different doors or elevators. We didn't even remember what floor we were on. And we were just standing there for about a minute trying to remember, hey, do you remember where we went, or trying to remember something? And then I just said, I think it's this way. Let's go. And then I just started walking. I just picked a door and started walking into it. And then I decided, okay, we're going to walk this way. And then everybody followed me. Now, it was just a weird thing. I was like, okay, it's this way. I was tired of talking about it. We're not going to figure out anything just sitting here discussing the idea. So we might as well get moving. So I thought, okay, let's just start moving. And then I walk into that door and I start looking around that level, but there was no car. So we couldn't find the car. And I said, okay, we're kind of stuck again. We're standing around. And I said, wait, I think it's this way. And I just said that without, with a straight face. So this idea of saying something with a straight face just means like this, like I'm not smiling, I'm not laughing, I'm not joking. I'm saying it with a straight face. So I was very serious. I said, I think it's this way. So I walked to another section of the parking lot, and it's still the car we were looking for was not there. So again, I had failed for the second time to lead us to the car. But then for a third time, I said, wait, I think it's this way. So I still was trying to take us in a different direction, and I didn't know exactly where the car was. But luckily for me anyway, we found the car on the third try. Now, we were walking around the parking lot. We finally found the car, and people were very happy. They were impressed that I was able to find the car, but really I was just testing a bunch of different options, trying to figure out what was there. And when I was riding back, so my friend and I and our two wives, we were sitting in the car. So I was in the front seat, the passenger seat, and I was talking with him, and he was amazed, and he was saying, wow, I can't believe you were so confident about knowing where the car was, even though, you had maybe not known where it was. And I honestly said, I didn't really know, but I thought, if we're going to go, I actually thought it was over here. And so I had confidence about that. But I kind of thought about this process for a while. And again, this happened a few years ago. But I was a few days ago, I was going out on a video shoot, and I thought when I was driving, I was riding in a bus to go to a different section of Japan as well, and we pulled into the bus parking lot, and there were lots of buses, and this was just a parking lot that reminded me of that story. But I thought it was such an interesting thing because at the time, the friend of mine was impressed by my boldness and my confidence, but really I was thinking okay, I just want to figure out where it is, where the car is, and we're really not going to do anything just standing around talking. We've got to move somewhere. So even if we don't know where exactly to go, we should begin moving such that we can, by process of elimination, and this is another great English expression, by process of elimination. So you eliminate the things that are not correct so that hopefully you find the one that is correct. In the case of the parking lot, maybe it's not floors 1, 2, and 3, but because you eliminated those, floor 4 is where your car probably is, that kind of thing. So that's by process of elimination, doing something by process of elimination. But I assumed when I was thinking about it, like I just said, yeah, I just really thought the car was over here. Maybe I remembered something, or I was trying to explain why I thought it happened. But kind of years later, and even thinking about it when I was pulling into that bus stop, and the reason I was so excited to share this with newsletter subscribers and to you here on YouTube, is that the process of confidence, it really had nothing to do with trying to make a correct choice. The process of confidence, or the reason I was confident to make a decision, even if it might have been incorrect, and the same thing I do now, even if I make a decision now that might not be correct, the reason I have confidence about what I'm doing is because I can understand the process itself and know that the process is what's going to get me eventually to my goal. So I might be wrong the first or the second or even the third or even like many other times, but if I continue to do it, I believe in the process itself and I have confidence in the process rather than in an individual decision. So when you ask people or you try to explain to people how to develop confidence, one of the things I explain to people, and after I understood this idea, I started sharing this with more people, and people really understood the idea that like, oh, you can be confident in general, and then you can have the ability to make bold decisions or difficult decisions, but you might fail them knowing that the process itself is going to get you where you want to go in the end. So the only reason that you would lose confidence is if you just decide to quit in the middle of the process. Now, I would have lost all my confidence if after the second time I failed to find the car, I just said, well, wow, I guess I'm just stupid. I don't know where the car is. But because if I continue to keep moving people around, no, it's this way, and hopefully we figure out some kind of thing at the end, if we find the car, then I win. And that's kind of, even though it's showing that I've made a mistake or I've made some errors along the way, in the end, I reach the car. And so that's the thing I'd like to share with you today. When you're thinking about getting fluent and being able to just have more confident conversations, it's not about being able to use a particular word correctly at that time, although that's a great thing if you can do it. Really, the important thing is to understand the process of using a couple different things. Even now, if I want to explain something in Japanese, I may not know exactly how to say it right the way I want to say it, or I may even have the same problem in English. Maybe there's a word I'm thinking of, I can't quite remember a particular word I want to use in a situation, and it's more important for me to just think like, okay, I'm trying to express an idea, and I will continue pushing at that thing. I will continue trying until I get to the actual solution I want. Now, that could be me using some language that I know, some words or expressions, or I could be trying to express something and then somebody else maybe finishes my sentence, or they help me, complete whatever it is I want to say by giving me a particular word or phrase. So often, even in your native language, you know this, maybe you're having a conversation with someone and you're trying to think of a word and then the other person says it and you say, yes, that's the word I was thinking of. So it's no different from your native language or when speaking in English. But the point is to respect the process itself, and that confidence is a process of continuing to try different things, and that you should be confident in the process rather than trying to be confident in just using a particular word. But if you are confident about the process itself, that's going to help you really become more confident about using particular words. So it's kind of a backwards way of thinking about confidence, but it's a really important idea, and I hope you begin thinking that way, because really it's a fantastic way to build up the confidence, whether you're trying to speak a second language or you want to find your car in a crazy parking lot or anything else. Well, that's the end of this lesson. I hope you have enjoyed it. Take confidence, knowing that the system does work. The only time, again, it doesn't work is if you choose to quit. And if you don't quit, you just keep continuing, you'll figure out some way to do it. Eventually, you will reach the place you want to go, whether that's being able to express something the way you want to express it or to arrive at a particular destination. Well, that's it for this lesson. If you have enjoyed it, do click that like button, become a subscriber to the YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye. To continue learning, click on the link in this video to download Speak English Naturally, our free guide to speaking and sounding like a native English speaker. The guide reveals the 3 most important kinds of conversational English you must learn if you want to sound native, and will help you experience instant improvement in your fluency and speaking confidence. To download your free guide on a mobile device, click on the link in the upper right of this video. To download your free guide from a computer, click on the link in the lower right of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the guide.